don't pay us to think. They pay us to know. We know we can beat them. There's no excuses why we shouldn't. Win the game, period. W is on 3, man. Let's go. W on 3. 1, 2, 3, W.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskin brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report Live. Special edition. The Redskins are in a really peculiar situation right now. A lot of injuries. We'll talk about all of that stuff tomorrow. That's not really what I came to talk about tonight. But the Redskins have botched the whole Kirk Cousins contractual situation. For those of you out there as Redskins fans already know. Some of you don't want Kirk Cousins back, don't think he's worth the money. So be it. Bottom line is, Kirk Cousins is a top 12 quarterback in this league. There are 32 starting quarterbacks, and he is, at worst, better than 20 of them. At worst. At best, he might be better than 22 to 24 of them. Bottom line is, Kirk Cousins is a quarterback that you can win with in this league, win a Super Bowl with in this league. Does he have the best talent around him right now? I'd argue in his duration as Redskins quarterback, this is the worst amount of talent he's had around him at the skill positions. No Pierre Garçon, no Deshaun Jackson, basically hasn't had Jordan Reed at his disposal this year. It's pretty bad. And it's slated to get worse. The offensive line pretty banged up in front of him. And that doesn't seem to be getting any better anytime soon either. But in any event, think what you want of Kirk Cousins. The bottom line is he's a franchise quarterback in this league. The Redskins have a franchise quarterback. The question then becomes, for how long? Redskins should have already locked this man up 2 seasons ago. Should have done it again this offseason, and now are faced with the daunting task of having to pay this man in the upcoming offseason. Now, I've always had the position, and I still feel this way, that at the end of the season, Kirk Cousins is gone. Okay? He is going to find employment elsewhere. Now, the question always has been where? The easy, simple answer for people like myself, hey, he's going to reunite with the first coach that told him that he could play in this league, that he was a franchise quarterback, that guy being Kyle Shanahan. That's where he's going. He's bolting for San Francisco to go play for Kyle Shanahan. The prevailing thought out there was, well, if Jared Goff doesn't work out in Los Angeles, he'll go team up with his other ex-offensive coordinator, one of the two, in Los Angeles with Sean McVay with the Rams, or in San Francisco with the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan. Those were the most logical destinations for Kirk Cousins. Well, you look out in L.A. with the Rams, rather, and Jared Goff's playing pretty good football. They're 5-2. They look really good. Jared Goff isn't going anywhere. They have a quarterback. They don't need Kirk Cousins. So then you look to option 1B. If that was 1A, option 1B would then be who? The San Francisco 49ers. And after the 0-8 start to the season, and you look at the Redskins situation and how we're not winning and we're not a good team right now, it was pretty safe to say that unless something drastic happened in the form of a huge, monumental blockbuster deal with a lot of guaranteed money involved, Kirk was pretty much going to hit the streets after the season was over and go to San Francisco. Well, with the news of the 49ers trading a 2018 second-round pick to the New England Patriots for the rights to Jimmy Garoppolo, it's pretty safe to say that's their new franchise quarterback in San Francisco, and thus you can scratch that name off of the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes in the offseason. So the dominoes are beginning to fall. there are still teams out there that could use the services of a quarterback like a Kirk Cousins. Does this heighten the opportunity for the Redskins to keep Kirk Cousins in the offseasons? Yeah, it does. Taking away his two most probable destinations does help the Redskins in their quest to keep Kirk Cousins in the nation's capital. But are there other teams that could arise that we aren't thinking about right now that could need a quarterback in the offseason? That are good football teams that just need a quarterback to help complete their cipher? Absolutely. Teams like the Steelers. Big Ben could say, you know what, I'm done. I've had a good run. It's been great. But time for me to go. They need a quarterback, and they need one now, and they're going to win a ton of games this year. Do you really think they're going to be able to draft a guy that they think can be the next Big Ben for them at, say, 28 in the draft? Absolutely not. So then the question becomes, maybe we go out and sign Kirk Cousins. Bring him back to the Midwest. He's a Midwest kid. Played at Michigan State. Let's bring him back to the Midwest. Or at least closer to the Midwest. I think Pennsylvania is more along the lines of the East Coast. But in any event, what about Arizona with the Cardinals? Larry Fitzgerald, Bruce Arians, still got a really good roster out there. Carson Palmer's pretty much done. They don't have a quarterback. They could use a quarterback. We're watching the Denver Broncos stink it up on Monday Night Football because Trevor Siemian can't figure out that his team is wearing white tonight, not red. Think they couldn't use a Kirk Cousins on their roster? I'm not saying. Yeah, they got Paxton Lynch. But if they thought Paxton Lynch was the guy, don't you think he'd be playing right now? I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Cleveland Browns got a ton of money. If I'm Kirk, I don't want to go to Cleveland. They stink. I don't want to take a step backwards in my career. But who knows? Maybe it's all about the money at this point. Maybe winning is secondary to getting paid. Who's to say? Jacksonville. Look, Blake Bortles is managing the game very well, but they could always use an upgrade, and they got a ton of money to do so. Okay? A lot of teams out there. What about the Buffalo Bills? Who's to say? Do they love Nathan Peterman? Are they married to Tyrod Taylor? No. No, they're not. The possibilities are endless is what I'm saying to you. But the Redskins' chances of keeping Kirk Cousins after the season just went from, let's call it 30% to about 45% with the 49ers trading for Jimmy Garoppolo. That's how big of a percentage of the pie and the most likelihood of him going to San Francisco was before this trade. So now you've got to think to yourself, we got a much more realistic shot at keeping Kirk Cousins because of this blockbuster move made by the 49ers to go get what we perceive to be their franchise quarterback. Now, some of you don't want Kirk back. You're foolish, but I can't tell you how to feel. But I can tell you this much. You're a damn fool if you think you can just get rid of Kirk, because whatever you think in your head, whatever delusional reason you have for wanting to get rid of Kirk, and look, I'm not saying he's Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or Drew Brees or Roethlisberger, any of these top-notch Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. That's not what I'm saying he is. But what I am telling you is he can be Eli Manning, better than Eli Manning, which that means you're going to get 1 to 2 Super Bowls throughout the duration of his career. He's going to get better. You've seen him tuck the football and run this season. And the delusional Redskin fans are going to blame every single loss on Kirk Cousins. Oh, Kirk Cousins can't get it done in the big game. Oh, he's 0-6 on Monday Night Football. I guess Kirk Cousins plays defense too. Guess he does that as well. I guess Kirk Cousins tackles Carson Wentz on Monday nights as well. Is throw the football to receivers, backs, and tight ends. Guess he does that as well. I didn't think so. So, in any event, the people that don't like Kirk, don't think he belongs in Washington as the starting quarterback, there's nothing you can say to change their mind. But for us rational fans that want to see Kirk Cousins remain in D.C., the chances of that happening got exponentially better tonight with the news that the New England Patriots have dealing Jimmy Garoppolo to the San Francisco 49ers for a 2018 second-round draft pick. So, the dominoes are starting to fall. You can scratch off Los Angeles in terms of the Chargers off the list. You can scratch San Francisco off the list of potential suitors for Kirk Cousins. To me, that was destination 1A and 1B. So looking at those two destinations and being able to scratch them off the list gives us a higher probability of holding on to a guy that has stabilized a position that has otherwise been in straight, utter disarray for this franchise for over 2 decades. Over 2 decades. We've had stopgap veterans come in like Brad Johnson and Mark Brunell to steady the ship temporarily. But if you're talking about a guy to be the franchise quarterback, to be around like Joe Theismann was once upon a time for multiple years, here's an opportunity to do that. Say what you want about Kirk. He's not a big game quarterback. He chokes in pressure situations. Can't win on Monday night. Say whatever you want. You can say whatever you like. Yeah, I just know this. As a lifelong Redskins fan, a lifelong suffering Redskins fan, I haven't seen legitimate winning since 1992 in this town with this team. I've seen little runs that we go on. I've seen 10-6. I've seen backdoor 9-7s. Where you had to win 5 straight just to get in. I've seen 10-6s where you had to win 6 or 7 straight just to get in. Hell, I've seen division crowns at 10-6. You know what I haven't seen? I haven't seen dominant 11-5 division winners. 12-4 dominant division winners. 13-3 dominant division winners. You know how you get those? With a franchise quarterback. You know how you go through 5-11s and 4-12s, which if you're a Redskins fan and have been for quite some time, you've seen your fair share of 4-12s, 5-11, 6-10s, because we've had plenty of those. I can go through the gamut of quarterbacks that have put us through those. The Heath Schulers of the world. The Tony Bankses of the world. Trent Green, Gus Frerotte, Jason Campbell, Patrick Ramsey, Donovan McNabb, Jeff George. Do I need to keep going? Because there are more Redskin quarterbacks buried in the cemetery. I can go dig them up. Trust me. There's plenty more. Todd Collins. I can go to the cemetery. A lot of tombstones. We got a chance to put all that behind us. But there's some of you out there that want to go through it again. That want to roll the dice. Kiss them and hope it comes up nice. What draft pick? Would you want another RG3 type trade? Give away the future to draft a guy that is a roll of the dice, a crapshoot at best? You want to do that again? You want to go through that again? Robert's in the Redskins quarterback cemetery. Want to go dig him up? He's begging for an opportunity in the league. But you think Kirk Cousins can't get it done? I'm not saying. I'm just saying. We got the man right here that can take us where we want to go. And I know a lot of you don't think he can. I'm here to tell you he can. The defense is better. He needs some more weapons. We'll work on that. Maybe Josh Doxson will get better. Terrell Pryor's good as gone. Maybe we'll draft someone that's good. Maybe we'll go out in free agency and acquire someone that's good. We'll fix it, though. It's fixable. What isn't fixable in the short term is letting Kirk walk and thinking that you can fix the quarterback position overnight. Not without a top 5 draft pick, you can't. And newsflash, we're going to win 4 or 5 more games this season. We're going to finish 7-9, 8-8, somewhere in there. You know what that's going to get you? The 17th or the 18th pick in the draft. You know what that's going to get you? The 4th or 5th best quarterback on the board. Who is that guy? Well, I can tell you. The 4th or 5th best quarterback is going to be a guy that you shouldn't draft until the 3rd or 4th round. And it's probably going to be a guy that we don't want any part of. Because the good ones, the Deshaun Watsons of the world, those guys come off in the first 15 picks. If you're lucky. Normally, they come off in the first 5 to 10. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. See if there's anybody out there that wants to comment. See. Dark Sealer 1995 says the problem with Cousins, Louie, is he can't get it done in the big games. He just doesn't deliver. I don't know if it's him or Jay, but it's the same thing last year and he didn't deliver. All right, let me ask you this, Dark Sealer. Are you a Redskins fan? If you're a Redskins fan, how long have you been a Redskins fan? I just need simple answers. I don't need you to talk me to death. I just need you to tell me yes or no. And if you are a Redskins fan, how long have you been a Redskins fan? If you're not a Redskins fan, you can stop right there. Because you don't know nothing about this suffering if you're not a Redskins. If you are, then I need to know how long you've been a Redskins fan, and then we can talk. But if you tell me something like 5 or 7 or 10 years, I don't know if I need to waste my breath. Seriously. I've been a Redskins fan since I was 3 years old. I'm 31 years old, man. 28 years. The last time I got to jump up and down because the Redskins were really good, I was 5. I was 5. I had on my Mark Ripken Riedel starter uniform and a Redskin Hutch helmet. I still have those items today. That was 26 years ago, man. We haven't had a franchise quarterback since then. And that's if you want to call Mark Ripken a franchise quarterback. I don't know if that's what you want to call him, but go right ahead. That's the closest thing we've had since. I'm waiting for that comment, man. You're a Steelers fan. Okay. So I'm done talking to you about this. Dominic Garland says, okay, keep moving. Dark Silver says, the play calling was abysmal at the end of the Dallas game. You call a screen with no timeouts and you call another short pass. Okay, I get that. And I was upset too. But here's the thing. 4 out of your 5 starting offensive linemen aren't in the lineup. You can't protect Kirk Cousins at that point. That was hey, if this screen pops, maybe something can happen. But if it doesn't, we just need to take our ass home. That's what that was. Because if you try to drop back a 5-step, a 7-step, Kirk's going to get his block knocked off. Our backups got hurt in the game. That's how banged up we are. Guys that we didn't already want starting originally have left the game, and guys that we just signed 36 hours prior. Tony Bergstrom. You heard of him? Probably not. You shouldn't have, because we signed him on Saturday. He was playing on Sunday. Ari Kwanjo. You heard of him? Maybe at Alabama you heard of him. He's been on our practice squad for years. We cut him this offseason. Hasn't gotten any work. We signed him on Saturday. He was in the game at the end of the Redskins game on Sunday, along with Tony Bergstrom. Left tackle, left guard. You want to put Kirk Cousins behind that? Not to mention rookie center and Chase Rouillet snapping the ball low all game long, who I actually like. I think Chase Rouillet is going to be fine. But he's a rookie. Beside a left guard and a left tackle who haven't played all season long for any NFL roster. And oh, by the way, the right guard next to the rookie center, in addition to the left guard who hasn't played a snap in the NFL almost ever, yeah, the right guy, that right guard, he's making his first NFL debut as well. His name's Tyler Catalina. So you tell me if you're going to throw a screen when you need to bomb it, or you're going to try to dump it off and let your playmaker make a play. You answer that for me. Look, I was upset too, but I had to sit down and reflect. What you want the man to do? I wasn't mad because at the end of the day, you're about to lose the one thing that's going to keep us involved in any kind of playoff discussion. His name's Kirk Cousins. Put him behind 4 funnies and ask him to try to throw it deep and see what happens. HTTR 804 says, I just want these guys to win games. Well, if you just want these guys to win games, the best way to do that is to retain the services of Kirk Cousins. I don't know what else to say to you right there. Sean Mack says, my Browns need to throw the money at Cousins. None of the college quarterbacks coming out can match up or really are really standing out. And that right there is the thought process that will lose us Kirk Cousins. There are 4 to 5 teams out there that are looking at Kirk like, you don't want him? We'll take him. And we'll throw any amount of money at him necessary to get him here. We saw what the Texans threw at Brock Osweiler. Don't tell me somebody won't cough up the change and won't throw the bag at Kirk. Don't tell me somebody won't throw the bag at him. You saw what Brock Osweiler got for 8 games in Denver? Don't think somebody won't throw the bag at Kirk and say, hey, man, you ain't even got to open it up. That's $95 million guaranteed in there. Don't even open the bag. That's 130 aggregate. 95 guaranteed right there, bro. Don't even open the bag. Just sign your name on the dotted line. Come on, man. We got to be smart about this. Dark Sealer 1995 says, I see Cousins going to Jacksonville. There's a defense. Their defense is Super Bowl ready, and they have the cap space and a QB away from the Super Bowl. I mean, it could easily be as easy as that right there. That makes logical sense. I already mentioned 5 or 6 teams that could easily look to add Kirk Cousins to the mix next year, and he'd instantly upgrade their football team. Jacksonville being one of them. Pittsburgh being one of them if Big Ben decides to hang it up. Hell, even the Giants might say, all right, Eli, kill your ass. And say, hey, Kirk, man, what you think about staying in the division? I mean, highly unlikely, but you just never know, man. You just never know. S. Kennedy says, if Drew Brees is available, I get rid of Cousins and draft a QB to learn under him. Sounds so simple, doesn't it? But it's not. Who are you going to draft? You're going to draft a 3rd-round guy and try to make him into a 1st-round pick? Like, you still got to be smart about this. If you get Drew Brees, you're going to be in the same predicament you're in now with the 17th, at worst, the 17th pick in the draft. Who you drafting in the draft at the 17th pick, bro? When you figure it out, let me know. See what else we got. HTTR 804. What about the quarterback from Oklahoma? What about Baker Mayfield? What about him? You think he's a top-tier NFL quarterback prospect? Because I don't. He plays at Oklahoma. I tend to stay away from those spread quarterbacks that play in the Big Ten, in the Big 12 with no defense. When's the last time an Oklahoma quarterback's been any good? I mean, Sam Bradford is the closest thing you got, and his career has been a mixed bag due to injuries. When's the last time an Oklahoma quarterback's been any good? Jason White won the Heisman and didn't even get drafted. When's the last time an Oklahoma quarterback's been any good? I don't know. We'll see. The Black L.A.B says, you already know I know about the O-line problems. When you said Kirk had 4 funnies in front of him against the Cowgirls It brought back memories of last season for me, shaking my head. You can't win that way with 4 funnies in front of your quarterback, man. It's only 5 dudes protecting them, and if 4 of them are funnies, what you supposed to do? I mean, it ain't much more you can do, man. I mean, I didn't have a problem with the way the game ended. HTTR 804 says, I actually was at Skids versus Dallas game. We have a ton of injuries, but we definitely could have taken the game over. No excuses. I can't blame Kirk with the O-line injuries. I thought it was a game that the weather impacted, but more than the weather, the injuries killed us, man. The injuries didn't give us a shot in that game, and it was a shame because that was a game that was a game there for the taking. It really was. That's probably the most frustrating part about watching the Redskins succumb to the injuries in that game is that you looked at that Cowboys team, you said they were vulnerable. They weren't that good in that game. They could have been beaten. And we just didn't have anything for them. I mean, all the weapons that we tried to bring to the table, they took them from us in the game. You know, Kerrigan had 2 sacks. They said, hey, give me your groin, man. No, hand it over. Give me your groin. Damn. All right, well, let's get Jay Reed had a big game. Give me a hamstring, man. Come here. Give me a hamstring. Well, shit. You already took all my linemen. Nope, we didn't take all your linemen. Hey, Sean Laval, come on. Let's go. Time for you to come out the lineup. This is bad. TJ Clemens, come on. He's a backup. What you taking him for? Because we can. Come on, TJ Clemens. Let's go. It was rough. As Kennedy says, hey, George was good. No, he wasn't. Brunell played well for us. Brief period of time. Related to John Riggins, so I've been a fan since the early 80s. Anyway, I think we need a play call. I'm not happy with Jay Gruden. I don't know what you want Jay to do. We don't have a run game because our tight ends don't block. Our offensive line is in tatters. And we don't have a game-changing back. You saw what a game-changing back looks like up close and personal yesterday. We need one of those. We had a chance to draft a semblance of a game-changing back, and we passed twice. Not once, twice. Could have drafted Dalvin Cook. Could have drafted Marlon Mack. Could have drafted Alvin Kamara. Any of those guys would have been an upgrade over Samaj P. Ryan. Over Fat Rob. We decided not to. So I don't feel bad that we don't have a game-changing back because we had an opportunity to get one. This is a deep draft class full of backs, and we chose a very average back at best. It is what it is. ZD says, the problem is the Skins have screwed up the situation. You're 110% right. You're 110% right. But allowing him to walk doesn't fix it. All you did was you dug yourself a big hole and you got a chance to climb out. Now it's going to take you an awful lot of money to climb out of this hole that you dug yourself. Could have got out of this hole for a lot less. It's like a gambling debt. If you would have quit while you were ahead, you could be like, damn, I lost 500, but better cut my losses now while I can. If we would have signed Kirk Cousins this offseason, we would have had a $500 debt, but you would have said, all right, could have got a lot worse. Could have got a lot worse. Now, when you sign them, it's more like $5,000 debt. But it could get a lot worse. Your debt went from 500 to 5,000. Lose them and see what that debt looks like. ZD says, stop settling just because if the past, I don't know what you're saying. If you got a comment, go ahead and use the hashtag. Captain Spartan 04 says, really, Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense. Went to college with Bell. Already has chemistry with Brown as they practice together a lot in the offseason. Great points. I remember him and Brown breaking some kind of Guinness World Record for most passes caught in like a minute or 2 minutes or something like that. So, yeah, they have chemistry. They work out together, like you said. And Bell, they went to Michigan State together, like you said. So, again, Pittsburgh makes a lot of sense, and that's a Super Bowl-ready football team. So, There are a number of options that could come available for him. And if you don't want to be in the quarterback wilderness yet again, you'll find a way to keep this man under contract if you're the Redskins. Extreme Archery USA says, I think there are teams trying to take Cousins. I heard Broncos, Jets, Cardinals, Ravens are interested. We'll see. You know, it's in the middle of the season, so it's hard to say. All you can do is try to project. After watching the first 8 weeks of the season, all you can do is project. And right now, I'm looking at a lot of teams that all they need is a quarterback. All they need is a quarterback to be a serious competitor in the league for years to come. Well, they can't tag him again, ZD. They can't tag him. The only thing they can do is offer a transition tag, which will allow the Redskins to, I mean, they can theoretically tag him again, but you know how much money that's going to cost. That's not even in the, it's not even an option. I mean, you can't pay him $35 million next year. No way. It's too much, too big of a chunk of your salary cap. The only thing they can do is transition tag him, which will give them an opportunity to match whatever offer he gets. And if you weren't trying to sign him before, then why would you think that a team isn't going to offer him some stupid amount that you're not going to want to match? To me, it's a foregone conclusion. A Tile Stack 6161 says, "Get me Nick Chubb, damn it." I'm good, man. Nick Chubb is no different than what we already got at running back. Like, you want another big back that doesn't have a ton of speed? You want another one of those guys? Because we got enough of those on the roster already. I want a game-changing back. If I'm drafting a back, I want a game changer. Somebody that can hit a home run from anywhere on the field. Nick Chubb isn't hitting home runs. He's hitting doubles, maybe the occasional triple. He's not hitting near home run. He's hitting for average. We got enough average hitters on our team already, man. Dudes hitting for average. I don't want any more of those guys. But in any event, that's going to do it for me, man. I just had to come up here and talk about the domino effect. Tonight, you lose the 49ers as a potential landing destination for Kirk. And that's great news for us Redskins fans that want Kirk to stick around. Will this change anything? Probably not. I still think at the end of the season he's gone. I haven't moved off of that. But our chances of keeping him did go up by about 15%. Because the 49ers, I think, of all the destinations in the offseason, to me, that was the one that made the most sense. And not necessarily from is he going to win right away, but from I know these guys believe in me. It's a fresh start type of deal. They're going to give me all of the necessary tools in terms of confidence and building me up and wanting me that I could ask for. And it's going to allow me to go out and play the game the way that I want to go out and play it. And that's loose, carefree, and having fun and enjoying myself with people around me that I know believe I can get the job done, which hasn't always been the case and may still not be the case in D.C. So in any event, I thought the percentage of him heading to San Francisco was the biggest of anywhere after the season was done. I would have put him going to San Francisco at about 35%. Him coming back to the Redskins at about 20%. And then a bunch of teams at 10 and a couple at 5. So I think this really gives the Redskins a much better opportunity. Now the Redskins are sitting at about 35%. And everybody else is at 20 and 15 and 10. So we're going to see what happens. But nonetheless, my man Sean Mack just broke the news that Zeke Elliott's suspension has been upheld. I don't even know what the hell that means. At this point, I don't give a damn because I'll find out tomorrow that he appealed again and he's allowed to play until the appeal is heard. and we won't know anything until the appeal is done. So I don't know. At this point, I don't even care anymore. But in any event, we'll chop it up tomorrow for the Redskins report. I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. Redskins spirit will never fold until we meet again. Hail to our beloved Redskins. I'll see you tomorrow for the Redskins report. Lot to discuss. It's not looking good for the good guys in burgundy and gold. And so we'll reconvene tomorrow and kind of sort everything on out, as we got a pretty daunting task ahead of us on the road against Seattle with limited healthy bodies. So we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.